Welcome back to the Glaze Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 6 of the Dhanya Lakshmi painting. It's one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that are celebrated for all the positive propensities of life. And this particular goddess is called Dhanya Lakshmi. Dhanya refers to crops. Yeah, there is crop wealth, and that's what we are celebrating with this particular image, and also painting this on. We have finished 3 layers, and we are entering layer 4. So let's quickly go over what we have done so far in the previous sessions and jump into the session today. So in the earlier sessions, what we had looked at is how to prepare the canvas and do the first layer, that's the wash, and then we do planning and execution with help of grids that we did for the for this particular image on the canvas. And the moment it was done, we were ready to paint on top of it to kind of refine the execution with the help of the paint. We were able to establish a sort of idea, on the canvas, what exactly is it going to be. And that was our layer 2. The layer 3 was a little bit of dark versus light. We gave some shades and started giving some bit of nuances as well. This particular layer is going to give a build on this depth. Layer 4 is going to build more on depth, and then also a lot of detailing as well. So it will be building slow and steady on each and every section of this image. That's what we are going to do. Let's get started with the uh, face and body nuances first. That will be the first challenge for us. We are going to work on the face of this girl, and also on her skin tone. That is going to be the skin tone here on her hands as well. So we are going to work on that. So let's get started with the colors. The base colors that I will be using, I think it's something that we also did in the previous sessions, relying on vermilion a little bit, and then titanium white, yellow ochre, if needed, primary yellow, sometimes, and I don't think we need it this time. Let's see. Yeah, most of it we relied on that, and then we also had crimson ready if need be. I guess we will stick to that for the lighter color ranges. We will have ivory black and burnt umber also ready with us to go into some darker sections and nuances. Yes, so that's the plan. Let's get started with the eye first. The eye detailing first, and then let's move on to the next. I'm just looking at the eye color as such. We have done a blue there and it looks perfect. We'll have to work a little bit refining into that eye, and then also come back and work again on that when we do the facial colors. So that's something that we'll have to do. Yeah. I'm going to mix some colors first, and then we'll get started with the work. The skin tone, I have mixed some colors here in my palette, but I'm going to do it fresh here. So yellow ochre is here, and then there's some vermilion, crimson also left. There is also a bit of titanium white in my palette. So I'm going to see how things go with this. Taking brown brush number 1 flat to get started with this. Just check if that is, it's a clean one, but still I'm just being sure of something else that could be sticking to it. Okay. Okay, so now I am going to mix this color to have some tonalities. Yes, we need to have some amount of tonalities ready. So getting started with a bit of yellow ochre, not too much, I just need a tiny bit of it to mix here, and vermilion to mix so I get the darkest of that tonality ready. But then maybe a bit of crimson as well to get the pinky, look. So that's the darker tonality that I'm getting ready with. Now I'm going to add some more of titanium white to lighten this up and see where this goes. I'm looking at the color coming closer, but it can be lighter. In this case, just be careful with this because to make it lighter, the simplest way, of course, to add titanium white will help, but it's also a risky color. Titanium white could just tone down everything, mellow down the real colors, making it look dull. So it's a tricky situation. So just keep playing around with it until you get a color that is close to what you want. I'm coming closer with the lighter of the tonalities, the lightest of the tonalities that I could see on her face. Last time we tried to achieve if it is close to 80% of what you are seeing, it was fine, we proceeded. But this time try to see if you can do a little more than just 80%. Yeah, try to bring it 90-95% or even more closer if you can. Yeah, so that's the next level of challenge now. So I'm just saying, I think this is coming closer. Going to apply and see how things are. Especially in the lighter sections. Yeah. Okay. It looks like it's one tone lighter. It's okay for now. I'm touching in on those sections where the light is falling. It's just on her forehead, on the nose, the tip of her nose, on under her eyes, the cheek area, around her lips, and her chin. So and a little bit on her neck where the light is. So I have kind of touched upon the sections Maybe what I'm doing is hiding a little bit of her eyebrows, but I am not too much worried because we will work on the eyebrows again. So that helps with the lighter color. The lighter color is correct. Can we use that for the sections where the hands also have the lighter tonalities? Hmm? We will play with that. And we know that better because of our light and dark shading that we did in our previous exercise, previous layer. So I'm just giving that boldly filling in those sections where the light is falling. Mhm. For now, it looks similar to what we have done before, but we will get very quickly into nuances. So get ready for that. Be ready for that. Mm. Yeah. I guess I have filled in most of the sections where the light has to fall. Mm. So now let's do a little bit of the darker tonality of the same. I think it comes back to the shades that we had created before. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of crimson to this, and a tad bit of yellow ochre to this to create a darker shade. Yeah? Slightly darker shade of this. And let's see if we can put that around in the sections. That gels well soon. It doesn't look really off. Going to give that in those places left over, quickly filling them in. Yeah. Yes. So I have filled in her face very quickly using this to fill in very carefully. If you want to push to a micro brush or a small little brush for the fingers, do so. I am okay continuing, so I'm just doing it with the same color and filling it in quickly. We will come back to a lot of detailing very soon, so do not worry about it. Okay, so I've got both the colors filled in on all sections to work with. Yes, so this is a good start now. And now let's plunge into some levels of detailing on this. Can we do that? And then we can blend things also. So this way, we feel a little bit comfortable because we kind of repeated an exercise that we did from the previous layer. So that kind of warms us up, and then now we jump into more levels of detailing. Can we do that? We start with the detailing on the eye, and we talked about using ivory black and burnt umber and such. Let's see. Okay, I want to check if I have the colors, and I also need to switch to a tiny brush. Hmm. I have a brush 0, and I have some burnt umber available from previous sessions, so that is working. I'm not going to rely on too much of these colors, okay? So it's just going to be a 0 brush and this very little amount of ivory black and burnt umber mixed. So I don't try to use only one of those colors, I try to blend them a little bit. Also with a 0 brush, so it's really micro level of taking in those colors. Yes. Okay, I guess this works. Now I'm going to jump into working on the eye. Fine. So, the blue eye that I did, in the core of the iris and such, is fine. So I don't want to work on that. I'm just taking this uh, black or burnt umber mixed color on the sides of the eyeball and also on the lining of the eye. That's where most of that color goes. You see that, isn't it? For her. And also, if you come closer to that, the eyes line very close to the nose, you don't see those lines. So please do not use this color there if you are trying to do the exact, same of this. I would rather take that part of skin color a little bit, yeah, lighten up this burnt umber. Just looking at the possibilities of having the right tonality for the sorry, for the eyebrow. Because I'm close to getting there, so it's really on a in between that darkish brown, or is it gray and such. It's dwindling in between, and I like that color tonality. Adding more of burnt umber, and I want to lighten it up as well. Lighten this up slightly. So so I guess I have the kind of tonality that I wanted for the rest of the sections. where I want to darken because I don't want to use this black to darken. Yeah. So can you see that it is really looking like I've taken a bit of burnt umber. There is a tinge of black in it, but not too much. And I did take crimson to blend in it here. So it's really on the metallic or a grayish pink tone. And of course, adding a little more of the skin color there to lighten it up a bit. Okay, that is a good color for me to use in other sections. So I'm going to use this first to test on the eyebrow. It looks like it is working. Yeah. Fine. And this time I'm not drawing the line of the eyebrow. I'm just using it like, dots to give that impression of the hair. I'm going to use this to darken right on top of the eye line. So that's exactly where there is this, there's the upper eyelid showing, isn't it? So we could do that. Bringing it down here. Using this color again for the nostrils. I'll be safe with this color first with the nostrils and then darken it, deepen it wherever I need to. And I'm blending that also in the sections where the nostrils, begin here, right here. Okay. Cool. And then I will use this color tonality to create the cheek line. We'll work on the lip in a short while. At least the cheek line can be done. I'll use this for the, for the cheek and the chin. And also underneath the chin, the neck area, the shading and such. It's a good color tone, and I will use it really close to the hairline. So I have used it in some places, but we will come back to that color in a while. Until such time, we'll have to switch to certain darker tonality again. Why is that? To give some refined tones in the nostrils area. So I'm going to pick up on that very dark tone to use on the nostril area. That was good. Where else? Before we get to the details of stuff, we will have to use this color one more time in the chin area, the cheek area. That's also a slightly darker tone there. So that's done. Leave it there. Come back to, so all these things are being done with same brush, zero brush. So I'm wiping off my brush each time. I'm switching on to another color. I'll rely on crimson and a bit of burnt umber to do the darkest of the lip line. So crimson with a touch of burnt umber. Again the zero brush. Let's do the lip line now. Wasn't that easy because we really worked hard on the lip line previous time. So all we have to do is to just fill in that section if needed corrections. Otherwise, we are fine. And this lip line is slightly lightened, isn't it? So add a little bit of the skin color to this darker tone when you do the underlip. So the upper lip is darker, but the underlip isn't. Just see that. So this helps. With the lip line. Going back to the lighter skin color, because I need a bit of it on the lip here. Yes. Cool. All right. How is she looking? Let's do some lighter tonalities under her eye. And I think at this time we will need a darker tonality to go back to for her hair, because the hair also really tells the storyline better. So let's do the hair. Before we get to the hair, I'm just doing a tiny twitch here in the skin tone, and then we'll blend a little bit more. Yeah. So for the hair, it is burnt umber, but I want it to be lighter, not because of white, not with white. I would go with yellow ochre to lighten up the burnt umber. So I'm just going to take some fresh burnt umber separately and yellow ochre separately to show you the hair color that I'm going to get to. Okay, here. So I think I will need another brush. I'm going to rely on another brush altogether. Taking brush number 0, round. Okay. So this is, okay, burnt umber mixed with yellow ochre to get this color tonality that is closer to her hair tone. If we want the darkest of the toner, we can always blend a little bit of ivory black there, but I think we'll try to rely on this most of the time. Yeah, it works well. Let's do the work now. So I'm just going to give some strokes here. And I think we already had this golden color in our previous attempt with the hair lining, so it looks good. Kind of complements what we have done before, so it's helpful. Let's proceed with that. And then we can darken it easily with the help of the ivory black wherever needed. Cool. So I think this color is complementing here, and it could be enhanced with ivory black a little bit. So I'm just going to take ivory black a tiny bit on my tip of my brush and go for those strokes. And I'm just being very careful with my strokes here. Also, when I come close to that cheek line, yes, it does enhance nicely. Now let's go for a slight bit of baby hair in the front. There is slight tweaking of hair, twisting of that hair and such we could play around with. Yep. And also some more hair strands going along. Giving more enhancing strokes. Mm-hmm. I think she is looking kind of ready to, work on the blending and such. Let's do that now. So I'm putting this brush away. I want to blend in colors. So I am going to take a brush. I have a clean brush that's got only titanium white. Okay. So it's brush number 1 round, and I'm going to just take this titanium white that I have and blend it in here in the center. Go with the blending of skin tones around. Whatever we did, I think we blended in the previous attempt itself, but we will refine it further. Show that in. Further. Yes. I'm going to take a bit of titanium white. Just be careful with the white if you're playing around with the white like me, because it could easily twitch everything, switch off the beauty of the color, neutralize it totally. You don't want that happening. So just blend it in right places. Yeah, I guess I need another brush. Taking in a micro brush, a zero brush, and I'm going to use this to do some more blending in sections, like the nostril. So these attempts that we are making are to bring the picture to the level of, you know, detail, and also the kind of depth that we want to work with. Yeah. So be very patient. Try to look at every single aspect of it, where you want to improve and why, and do it accordingly. So I have added some more of that darker tone, and now I want to blend in again with the lighter tonalities. Taking the skin color again in the same zero micro brush. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The angles of her cheek, the chin, and the depth of her neck here. I'm just adding a little bit of darker tonality. That the one that I used for the hair also helps here to just add up here on the skin color. Blending it in, leaving it like that, with some features appearing and such. Uh, there are some white highlights in her hair that we could, it's not white as such, so I'm still mixing this titanium white a little bit to this um, mm, burnt umber, and giving those slight strokes there in the front of her hair. I want it to blend in slightly, so I'm just going to go back and take the brush that I used for the hair color to just blend it in. This white also tends to change the shade totally. We don't want that also. So keep playing with the color until you feel that you are able to show those lights falling. And where are those lights falling? It's really on the hair strands here. There are some hair strands here that are catching the light. And I will also make sure that the streaks are appearing nice. Good. Good with the shine. It could be a nice balance that we should create here. Yeah, on the front of the front view of her. And to darken, going back to the ivory black in the tip of my brush zero. Sorry, so just to add that ivory black in those sections. Where there isn't any light catching. I guess she is coming up nicely now. You could see her face much more clearly now. And the next stage is to work on, we're not done yet, we have to work on similar detailing for her hands, the fingers. And when we work on the fingers, we need to remember certain things about the finger that we have to do. Like, for example, I think in this case, we are lucky that we have most of the hands, our fingers are folded like this, holding into something. So there is dark and light here, which we have looked into in the previous session. We will do something similar, but when it comes to hand, there are both the hands, the one hand is just blessing like this, another is like this. That's where we'll have to do these small little strokes as well. And lucky for us, we used a color for the lip line, isn't it? That's the color. We used crimson and a tiny bit of burnt umber, and that could be a nice color for us to stick to give those shades. Yeah, and we will actually use that for many places. Also, a bit of burnt umber, a bit more of burnt umber wherever needed. Yeah, let's stick to that color tonality now. Crimson, I'm just getting ready with some more of the crimson and burnt umber. Having it ready. Yeah, having this darker note ready. Now I'm going to use that first to test in the arm area. Very thin strokes, very thin contour lining. Yes. And that's a good start to test. So when we blend this in, it'll not look like it's got, another new color at its contour. Because this crimson and burnt umber are already in there in the colors that we have mixed or blended. So this is a good start. Let's use another brush. I think we used the brush. For me, I use brush 0 to blend in, isn't it? So I'm going to blend in. I'm just working on the arms of these two hands. Sorry, the blending of these two hands here. So it's helping me in showing the contour, but it isn't changing much of the tonality here. Blending it in nicely. I think this experiment is fairly good. So I'm happy with this blending. And yeah, maybe I want to take a little more of burnt umber when I blend, and less of crimson. I think it's very close, but it isn't bad. So I'm convinced with this. I'm just going to add a bit, tweak in a bit of titanium white to lighten. I think otherwise it's all looking good now. With this hand, yes. And does it look similar to what we have here? That's where, yes. Because we also need to check that it should be in alignment with what we have done here in the face. I need a bit of burnt umber shade on this crimson note to help me blend it and make it close to what I have in the face. Just align that. So I'm testing it with these two hands, and I think I am kind of convinced with what is coming up. The color shade can be slightly on the lighter side, so I could add a little bit of titanium white, not too much, a tiny bit, to blend in some of those sections. I think it mixed with another color. Oh, oh, be careful. Yes, now it's okay. Skin tone, adjustments here. Yeah, works. That's right here. Good. So I think the color tonalities are coming out right. So I can proceed with this blending in other places as well and get started with the contouring of the fingers also. So I just wanted to test it, and right now I have understood that I need a bit more of burnt umber here and a less of this crimson. That combination really helps. So I'm going to rely on that. Yeah. And I'll be very cautious to do the hands now. Yeah. So I'm just going to do the hands. Let me just push this up a bit so you could see a bit more of the hand nuances. So I'm just working on, I'm not opening up uh, the reference image because I think I am fine with this. Okay. I will use the same brush, zero brush, to take a bit more of skin color where needed. Now I would give the tiny, I don't know what we call these lines, yeah, in the hand. Yes, let's do that. So, and also remember that in between the finger there is this tiny space of triangle there. That is also a darkened space. Just skip that. Um, so these are tiny things, but they do matter when it comes to working on the hand. Yeah. So we've got this hand done and also the shading on the hand done. So let's check on the blending a little more. So let's work on the other hand and then focus on, oh wow, we have a lot of hands to work on, isn't it? So let's do that. I'm going to do the other hand's contour. I think we did this contouring well. We have to just contour on the hand as such. One, two, the thumb, and then 4 fingers. Yeah, cool. And skin tones. I'm using the same zero brush or micro brush. Mine is, it says zero. I have a lot of zero and triple zero and such, but it's just whatever works well with you, whatever is appropriate for you, you use that brush. And I'm just giving the skin tone a touch here on the fingers one more time before I get started with the lines and the strokes. Yeah. Now going back to the burnt umber mixed with crimson to do the finger lines, the lines on the finger, and also the spacing between the fingers. So these are very tiny nuances, but they do matter. Now I'm going to blend in a bit more here, these colors. Blending it in. Yes, cool. So we have managed fine for these two hands. Now we have 6 more hands to work on. Let's get on to that. Let's do a real quick contouring first, yes? And then we'll come to work on the details. Contouring with the zero brush and burnt umber mixed with crimson. That is working. Yes. I'm gonna bring it slightly down here. So you could see that, certain things are slightly easier even though there is a lot of detailing work to be done because we have put in the effort already on those sections, defining those spaces very well. So it looks like it's repeating itself, but we are now going closer into the details. So the focus on details really happens when the planning, estimation is all done carefully, nicely. Then the focus on detail isn't a pressure. Otherwise, it could turn into a nightmare easily. Because the overall look isn't nice. Then you have a lot of issues. So you'll have to fix that and also work on the details. That's a bit too much, I would say. A bit too much to focus on. Yeah. So that was one contour. I'm gonna just fix all the contours first and then do the blending. Yeah, let's just like the way we did the face. Oh, the face. I just want to use this color also. Yeah. So yeah. Remember, these are sections that are also, challenging in many ways. If you are comfortable with this, you are happy doing it yourself, it is fine. But if you need help, you can always write to me. If you want to sit and learn things in a much more detailed way, or you are struggling to do it this way for some reason, with the details, you can always write to me about what exactly is it you want that isn't covered here in this session, and we could also have a conversation around it if needed. Yeah. So use this opportunity to learn as much as you would like to from all these experiences and trying to build these uh, images. So I have finished the contours of these two hands here, these three hands here. So I'm going to move on to the contouring here on the other side. I think I'm going to just do the contouring one more time here because I just want to see that it is even sharply done. So I think this is a slightly darker place also. We could darken this. Cool. So moving on to this section of hands. Same burnt umber with a bit of crimson. Also remember the shading that I'm giving here. Close to the area where the bangles are going to appear. We'll also be working on the jewelry in this layer, but not today's session, but we will be. Cool. So coming to the last couple of hands. Nearly there with the contouring, and then we can work on some detailing there. This is usually a slightly intense session because we are, looking into a lot of detailing. And also, like I said, it goes well when we have managed to, do a fat job with our previous layers. It's just going to support things ever so nicely, yeah. Cool. I think I managed fine with this. Now I'm going to work on the blending of these colors. So I'm going to wipe off because I've got this little darker tonality really too much in my zero brush, and I need this brush to blend in. So I'm just going to take a bit of the swatch of this skin color to go over the finger sections one more time and then start blending them in. Yeah. Very quickly filling in the finger sections with this lighter tonality first to kind of, get the job going. Yeah. So now it is time to start blending things in. Can we do that? Yes. This brush is good enough now to blend. Let's start blending. Only first, testing blending the way we did it in the arms. If you want to add more color, you can. More of the highlights, you can, and then come slowly to the fingers as well. Yeah, blending it in nicely, giving it that shade, and coming to the fingers as well. And checking in, okay, does that still look like her hand? Good. Need a bit more of skin color here to blend. Okay, works well. I think it is coming out all right. Most of the sections are nearly getting there. Be patient. We'll get there. If you are doing it faster than me, fantastic. In case you are slower and you feel, okay, she's going really fast, press the pause button, You be done with your sections and then come back to where you left. So I'm just taking a look at the picture now, broadly to see how things are. Okay, the hands are beginning to look good now. I need a little bit of adjustment with the skin colors where the highlights need to show. Hmm. Okay. I think she looks pretty much good here. Okay, I guess it's a good space for us to say stop for this class, and we will resume this layer 4 in the next class as well with the other elements, which is the clothing, the flowers, the yeah, all the elements that she has in her hands and such. So that's a lot that we would take care of in the next session. But before we go on, I'm just going to check once if everything is right. I feel most of it is. There is one angle though that I want to fix with this arm here. Let me just do a strong I think that was the line that I wanted. Yeah, I just wanted the help of a darker color to tell me where the line has to go. So now that I have done, I'll have to take the skin color to blend it in. Yeah, just wanted to be sure. I felt there was something missing there. And that section is going to be a part of the background. So I'll have to take titanium white to slightly blend it in. So it looks like that was it about today's class. We have looked at the layer 4, working a lot into the details of face and body texture, nuances, and creating the building the depth. We've done all that, and now we are ready to work on the same with the rest of the sections, which we will resume in our next class. Until such time, please do take care of yourself and stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated. Let's meet up. Bye bye.